Section 3.3 is about graphics in the media. So one thing that I like to say is that statistics don't lie, but people do. And people can manipulate statistics and data to present the information they want you to see. So kind of keep that in mind as we go through this section and section 3.4. Here are our learning objectives for this section. So for each of the following types of graphs, let's talk about what the benefit of using this type of graph and what some of the drawbacks are. So first off, we have multiple bar graphs and line charts. So what a multiple bar graph is an extension of a regular bar graph, but there are two sets of bars comparing two or more data sets, in this case between men and women. And that's a good thing to compare because this is the median annual earnings of full-time workers by educational attainment and by gender. It's important to note that all data sets must have the same categories so they can be displayed on the same graph. Some benefits are, as we can see closely, the wage gap that exists between men and women. We can also see who earns the most and who earns the least. Now, this is something that does have an order. It's not ordinal data, this is categorical data. But when you present information, you typically want to present it in a logical sense. So since you go to high school and then college and then get an associate's, bachelor's, master's degree, it's important to list those things in that way. A multiple line chart follows the same basic idea as a multiple bar chart, but it shows the data sets with related lines rather than bars. So here we have unemployment rates among individuals ages 25 and older by education level. What can be misleading is that you've got to go ahead and look really closely at the key, so it does take a little more time to see. This is also a time series graph because it's listed by the year, so that's pretty cool. What you can also see is from this is that unemployment rates followed the same trend. See, unemployment rates increased for everybody in 2008. That was the housing crisis. So much fun, right? Okay. Next thing is sometimes you'll see three-dimensional graphics. Ooh, this is just a really fancy bar graph. This is that same essay grade data we looked at in an earlier section. Do the dimensional effects add any value to the graph? Not really. It makes it look kind of snazzier, I guess, but they really don't add anything to the graph. So what I want you to do is answer the following questions based on the next slide. So what percentage of students feel their coursework is relevant to their lives? Then I want you to talk about, we're going to talk about how long did it take you to find this information and whether or not this is a good example of an infographic. We're about to see an infographic, which can be a really great tool for sharing information. So let's take a look. Again, we're trying to figure out what percentage of students feel their coursework is relevant to their lives. Let's go. Did you find it? I just found it. It's right here. It says that 58% of people feel their coursework is relevant to their everyday life. But that's not what jumps out at you right away. There's a whole lot going on, right? Students strongly agree their colleges contributed their critical thinking, knowledge of people, ability to work. I was automatically drawn to this really big percentage, right? 62% are satisfied with the relevant of their coursework for future career plans. But there's so much information going on, it's hard to find exactly what you want. I think this one's kind of hard to read. There are good infographics out there, but I just don't think this is one of them.